Alright, so we got the Rotstang here today, and I just kind of wanted to talk about running 20/50 oil in the winter. I've seen a lot of people who tell other people that it's okay, you're completely fine, you're not going to hurt anything. And we're just going to go over some of the caveats of doing so and some of the damage it can cause. So a little backstory on the car is, you know, this car burns so much oil, the bearings are so worn out. Really, it's a wonder this engine even still runs, and it still runs extremely hard, amazingly. But, you know, it's so worn out that even with 20/50 oil, when it's up to temp, which it's only got 160 degree thermostat, it only idles with 20 or so pounds of oil pressure. So to fill that void, I ran 20/50 oil during the summer. So now we got on to winter, and it got cold faster than I anticipated, and I was on a trip for my job, and I came back, and you know, it was like 10 degrees, and I went to start my car, and I had some issues, and luckily I got away without damaging anything. But I just want to talk about some of the issues that you can have and some of the things I saw in my own car. So first of all, 20/50 oil is so thick. That's like, if you ever heard the phrase molasses in January, that is pretty much the only way you can describe this stuff when it's so cold. But you know, it's so thick that when you go to start your car, it takes a long time for that oil to get up through the system and all the way to the top of your engine. And you know, there's kind of an old adage that most of your engine wear starts on your first initial fire up of a vehicle because it's running dry momentarily. Well, with that thicker oil, you kind of extend that time. Some other things to consider, it's so, because of how thick it is, your oil pump drive shaft, when that oil is cold, it can literally shear that thing, and then you're going to have no oil pressure and destroy your engine in a hurry. Especially on these Fords, they use a smaller oil pump drive shaft than the Chevrolet, regrettably, so you even have a more increased chance of this. And I fully believe if I had good bearing clearances in this engine, I probably would have done so. It's probably because it's so worn out, it saved me there. Also, when it first fires up, it's so thick that it trips the filter bypass on your oil filter, and over time that'll weaken, and you'll just start bypassing oil, and you're basically running unfiltered oil around in your engine. Another thing with it being so thick is you can actually pull air out of the solution, where your oil pump can't actually pump the fluid fast enough, and it's mechanically driven. What'll happen is it'll start to cavitate, which will again destroy your oil pump, and you're putting air bubbles into your oil, and you know, there's no lubrication in those air bubbles that are going through your bearings. So again, some damaging effects you could experience. So with it being colder now, what I've ended up doing is I'm running 1030 oil in this car, and I seem to have the same oil pressure that I did with the 20/50 in the summer, so I don't think we're losing anything there. But it's just something to watch out for, something to be aware of. A lot of people ask questions about it on the internet, and I've been asked a few times, so I thought I'd kind of make a video here to clear it up. It's something you definitely want to watch out for, and it can cause catastrophic engine failure. So with this car here, we're just going to run it through the winter, and if it actually makes it through the winter, which I would be surprised seeing as how it's held together with duct tape and zip ties and sheet metal screws, if it makes it, we'll pull that engine out and overhaul it, and you know, our bearing clearances will be a lot more in spec and all that, and we can run normal oil again. But until then, this is just how she's gonna be. But yeah, I just want to make a little video there and keep you all informed of some of the things I've seen, and so you don't make the same mistake that I almost made. Again, luckily my engine was worn out enough that it saved me. But yeah, 20/50 oil in the winter, definitely would recommend against that.